find something out there. There's something for you in Toastmasters. Look, I'm looking at you at the camera. I'm looking at you. Find something in Toastmasters that's for you. Jump in, go all in, and learn that role. Have fun with it. Make it yours. But find that role that's for you. Whether it's a small club role, I won't say small role, but club role, area role, division role, district role. Find that role.
Welcome to D50 After Dark. I'm your host, Mickey Bennett, and in this festive episode, the division directors of District 50 gather to share their experiences and insights on leadership within Toastmasters. From personal growth stories to strategies for engaging younger generations, they discuss the impact of Toastmasters on their lives and careers, highlighting why the organization is invaluable during the holiday season and beyond. Enjoy this episode and have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Mickey, for that introduction, and I hope wherever you are right now, like you're having fun at your Christmas partying it up. Thank you for that introduction, but I'm here now with me and the other 5 division directors of District 50, starting with, in my order here, at the end here, Herb Culp, Eastern Division Director, Clee Kimball, Plains Division Director, Daniel Foy, Metro Division Director, David Haney, Town North Division Director, and that's me, Frontier Division Director, Tommy Kenyon.
You forgot Roderick.
Roderick? Oh, did I? We're going live. Anything can happen when you're live. Roderick Gowdy, Southern Division Director.
Well, this is what it feels like to be the center of the Oreo cookie.
Yes.
Apparently, 6 is a hard number to count to. So thank you for joining, watching this podcast episode, this Christmas special. We're going to get into how leading as a division director and as area directors as well has shaped our leadership and the value we're getting from it. Who wants to start?
Well, I'll start off just by saying it was one of those decisions to become a division director that I had to think about quite a bit. First of all, I guess I had to ask my boss, who would also be my wife, if I could take that on. And she said, yeah, sure, take it on. I'd been an area director before. And in some ways, this job is a little easier than being an area director, but in some ways, it's actually harder because here you're more trying to motivate people to get the job done. As an area director, I think I just went to meetings. I could go to all the club meetings. I always felt like I was a part of that. I never really felt a need to inspire or the club presidents or any of the officers in the clubs. They all seem to do a pretty good job of doing that themselves. But here, I think as a division director, you're really part of management. When people think, when you go to visit a club and they think of Toastmasters, they're thinking of you as the division director. You are the face of Toastmasters at the club level, because most of these members, they might see these pictures on a website, on the D50 website. They might know who Kimberly is. They might know who, Clee or Roderick. They might know who they are just from their pictures. But putting a face with it when you show up in that meeting, I think is a real important thing. And I think you end up being the face of Toastmasters, more or less. So.
When I was asked to do division director, I turned it down. I didn't want to do it. But he kept asking me, Brian, this is for you, dear. Brian asked me, I was like, okay, I'll do it. And that's all I said. Like, okay, I'll do it. If I had a choice between area director and division director, it will definitely be division director. because my job didn't allow me to go out and visit these clubs. When you work in a hospital, you can't just take off to go visit a club because of your schedule constraint. But with division director, you have a little bit more flexibility because it's not on you. You go visit the club out of the kindness of your heart or just to meet new people. Whereas the area director, they have to because they have to do their club visit report. So I have a little bit more flexibility as a division director than I would have if I was an area director, because my job just didn't allow that. As a respiratory therapist, I couldn't just like, hey, I'm taking off tomorrow because I got to do a club visit. My boss like, wait, you what? So if I had a choice, definitely division director would definitely be my thing. I enjoyed it. I really did like it a whole lot. I say did like it's already over, but it's still going, but we're already at the halfway point.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, when we started in July, we're already here. Now that we're here, before you know it, June will be here, and then our term will be over. So that's one reason why we're here, so we can actually start to inspire those who are ready to take that call, because we're ready to pass on that torch.
Awesome. Yes, and we are real people here. We're gathered in Plano, Texas. We're real people advancing our personal, personal growth. Thank you, Roderick. Yeah, and it's a path for me. I got a professional speaking coach. And our first visit, he said, join Toastmasters. And I said, what's that? And he said, just Google it and join a club before we meet next time. And that's what I did. And that was a few years ago. And now I've been consistently going to club meetings. And didn't know what was going on, like within the district. I didn't even know that was a thing when I joined, but I soon learned after I got a Toastmaster mentor, which I think all of us should have. It's available. And there's less questions than I thought I would have. Just having a mentor was a big deal for me. Because it answered a few questions. I felt confident. And then they asked me to be an area director. And I said, yes. Opportunities come up. Then the next thing, they asked me to be a division director. And I said, why not? I don't know what's involved, but I'll figure it out with the coaches and the mentors within Toastmasters. And that's what happened. So
say yes, and then you figure it out as you go.
Yes.
Somehow that quote goes.
That's how it is.
Does anyone have that memorized?
Say yes and figure it out.
Opportunity when you get selected or someone choose you, don't miss that opportunity. I was asked to be an area director, and I was asked to be a division director. And from taking those opportunities, there was great value in it, and I was able to come out a better person in the end because I got to learn while doing. It's like on-the-job training.
Right.
And you get so much out of it. You meet people, you make connections, you learn. Like right now, I'm learning to manage a group of leaders and manage the different styles that those leaders have.
Right.
Some are easier than the others, but that's an opportunity that's making me a better leader.
Right, that's right.
In itself. So when you do get an opportunity to become a district leader, take that opportunity, say yes, and you'll be surprised that, yes, it's going to be hard. There are some things that are hard, but nothing worth having is, minus the struggle or minus difficulty. I see difficulties and all of that as an opportunity to learn. Even if you make mistakes, even if you fail or you feel you fail, that's a learning data point where you learn what to do the next time and you get better. And I made my share of mistakes. I'm sure we all have. And I know as an area director, when I did one of the contests and I didn't call out the credentials of the distinguished guests and visitors. And, we had to debrief, and I learned from that. And ever since then, I knew it's important to call out credentials. And now I try to make sure
That's
I do
all
that.
Ronnie talk about his contest. He just call them out there. That's it.
But yeah, it's a great opportunity. So if you get an opportunity, I'm sure all of us, we stepped up for that opportunity. And I'm sure we all can say that we benefit in some way from taking that charge.
What do they say? Life starts at the end of our comfort zone. So we that's where growth happens.
Growth, yep.
Yeah. At the end of your comfort zone.
And a great man once said, where there's no struggle, there's no
growth.
Progress.
All right.
Well,
We
that's
have philosophers here.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I'm just
I gotta
quoting
follow
somebody.
that.
I'm quoting.
No, but what Herb just said is absolutely true. Especially for me, my opportunity as a division director came from going to one of our conferences, finding some of the leadership and having a chat about things that could be done differently or better within the area that I was in.
Oh, yeah.
And this was simply as a club president at the time, had no intention whatsoever to join the District 50 leadership at all, wasn't even thinking about it. And it proved a point that I learned in corporate America and had forgotten and should have never forgotten. If you have ideas and complaints and thoughts about how things can be made better, don't be surprised when leadership shows up and gives you the opportunity to make it better yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so the opportunity was given to me. I, just like Dan, had a conversation with the president of my household. My wife looked at me and said, I don't think you should do it because it's going to eat up your time, but I don't think you shouldn't do it because you'll sit around and worry about or think about whether or not you should have done it for the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
There's
okay.
truth to that.
Yeah. So we dove in, and I got to tell you, this has been fun. It's been a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
It's been truly a gift in terms of the people that I've been able to meet.
Yes.
I am so blessed with the team that we put together. We have students who are graduating college as area directors in the same room on the same team with people who are graduating their careers and about to retire.
Wow.
And you have a team with that kind of diversity and that kind of experience gap. And I watch these individuals get nearly as much out of the interaction of the team at the area director level, learning from each other, as I do seeing what they're accomplishing out in the field. And you know what? If you're one of those people who can put together a team and motivate a team,
Right.
let's be clear, part of our job is being cheerleaders.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's right.
Yes.
Right. That's
And
right.
if you can do that and the team can get to a point where it is feeding on itself in terms of ideas and motivation, then you can just take a step back and simply point at directions and the team will go and execute. You don't have to be directly involved.
That's right.
Matter of fact, you're better off not to be involved.
Right to be, yeah.
They
I
can
definitely
run with
agree.
the ball. Let them.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
And they can accomplish great things. And so if you're interested in being an area director, the opportunity to interact with clubs, if you're interested in being a division director, the opportunity to lead and motivate and grow people.
That's right.
Both of those exist in this organization and it's free. And we're looking for people. And instead of you trying to push an agenda for you to get promoted in a corporate environment, there's an environment out here for you to do it that's just literally sitting here waiting for you to say yes.
Yes.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I like what you said,
I know. Yeah.
that it's a gift
Mm-hmm.
to serve. And that's what I find. I see opportunities that align with what I do in corporate America. And for those who are new to the corporate or careers, coming out of high school, finishing college, and you go to interview and they ask you, have you had any leadership experience? Instead of looking like a deer in the headlights,
Right.
if you're a part of Toastmasters, you have it. You could be an officer in the club. You can also be an area director, division director, or there are various positions in District 50 that you could be a part of. There are leadership positions, so you have that on-the-job experience. And most people in corporate America, they recognize Toastmasters. There are many corporate clubs that promote Toastmasters and pay for the fees for Toastmasters. at their jobs. So that's an opportunity. You can, like he said, it's a gift. You can gift yourself the experience of Toastmasters, connecting with people, networking, and gaining knowledge and experience, all while learning by doing in a safe space. In a safe space, safe space to fail.
Yeah.
Right.
And be supported
Good word.
at the same time.
A safe place to fail. That's right. Your job is not necessarily right. Your livelihood isn't riding on it if you feel that
Right.
your job. I like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, now we started with Dan, Clee, and then Herb, and then we circled back, and I ended up being the last to go here. But the value I started with as area director. When you're looking, starting to visit clubs, starting to find the clubs, the one of the things I got out of it was learning how to prioritize who needs the most attention, who needs, maybe there's clubs out there that probably don't need hardly any attention. I can name a few of them, and it's learning, going to visit your clubs several times, not just once, but like that's the fun part, visiting clubs and learning, okay, which ones can you step back from, which ones can you pay a little attention to more. And one club in particular, when I was area director I was in Plains, I started Area 44. That's how Clee and I first connected, Area 44 area directors, and because she was my successor. And one club in particular was I going out of Frontier into Plains, Word Wranglers. I helped them all the way up to President's Distinguished there, and they loved me for that. Like they still talk about me, like, Tommy did this for us. He was so great. And that was like a great experience for me, just connecting with the club in that way, in that form. And I went back to give one more visit to them after, like, I wasn't quite division director yet. It was in between, and it's, you still have those connections. You're making those connections, and moving into division director early on. Now I can brag a little bit on Frontier Division a little bit. We can all do that too. We can brag on divisions. So don't miss out on that opportunity.
Go Southern Division.
Yeah, Frontier. Shout out and
my girls
don't
rock. My girls rock.
Area directors, your team, TLI, this for the summer TLI. One of the big surprises early on when finishing summer TLI, hearing and seeing that all Frontier got 100% trained, at least 4. I'm asking for up that a little bit. I'm looking for all 7 trained from all clubs now. So Frontier, you better be. Let's go. We got to up our game.
Pressure's on.
But like,
do
shout
this.
out to them for getting all 100% officers trained in TLI in the summer. We can do that again. Winter coming up. We had a good turnout for the winter jumpstart TLI. That was 3 days ago.
Yeah, December the 10th.
December
Yes.
10th at 7 p.m. on Zoom. Kickstart will be fun in person. Come in person, TLI. But like that, nice surprise as division director and learning real quick. Again, like we brought it up, learning how to manage a team and learning how each one is different. Learning how each likes to be communicated on your team.
Yes, definitely.
And learning how the best way. Like we kind of got away from having official monthly meetings, and we just meet as on need basis. We're maybe on Discord or text thread, maybe just communicating small things here and there weekly. I'm learning that. I'm picking small things up like that on how you communicate what's going on a week-to-week basis.
Tommy said it's go time.
I'm a game changer.
I know you are. I've seen you do it. Thank you, Tommy.
Well, it actually is go time. we're in the low right now with Christmas break. Let everybody
Yes.
have Christmas off.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
folks, come January.
Contest.
Contest.
Fun. And that's one thing I must say, and I don't know where you want to go next on this, but there's a couple things we can go for next. We talked about like leadership and what it's done for us, but we come to each week to our home clubs. We come and give speeches. We do other roles for practice, reps. Contest comes around. Now you can put those reps to work. I encourage each and every one who spoke to compete in their club contest and see how their reps are paying off. How's that feedback you heard from the one evaluator going to help you? Any other thoughts on contests like that, or?
The only thing that I want to chime in on contests when I had to do my area contest. Oh, I'm sorry. When I had to do my area contest, I was so nervous. I literally heard my voice trembling as the area director getting up there and speaking to this room of people. It's different when you speak in your club. You know these people. But here I am. I have area 41 was Chris' club and my club, 41 and 44. The room was full of people. And I was just like, oh my God. I was almost like a deer in the headlights. I was literally trembling. And I never get nervous when I speak, ever. But when it was time for contest, for the area director to actually run their contest was my biggest fear. And I'm glad I don't have to do it this time.
So forth.
Contest master, if we can do contest master, correct? In the area division, the area contest, we can be, division directors can be contest masters. Is that correct? Because then I could just read the script. I don't actually have to engage and walk and talk and, kind of make everybody comfortable introducing, but I can actually just read the script, la, 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 and then sit down. Yeah.
I think the whole thing when you're area director or division director, you're the contest chair. As division director, as division contest, you're the chair, and I guess maybe
You can do the master. I think Brian did have master. Yeah, he was not contest master.
I don't. There may be something in the rule. The rule book is huge and it's fun reading.
Well, you can't compete. So
Right, you can't.
A little sarcastic, fun
Yeah.
reading, but a lot of reading in that contest rules book.
yes.
Well, I don't think there's anything.
I think
may have to go back and
do a
fact check
contest. Yeah.
on that a little bit. That's what a whole podcast is about. Like, come across with a thought, and if you have to fact check, come back on it later.
So we'll see you back next week.
And you don't necessarily have to worry about saying anything like wrong or anything on the podcast. That's why podcasts are picking up.
I think what makes this group of division directors so unique, us, because we all was willing to help each other for contests. Like, hey, if you need somebody, let me know what days I think I reached out to David Heaney. Your contest starts February 22nd. I'm free if you need me to take on any role. Because getting people to sign up for roles for contests is sometimes a little difficult. And so I think that's what's so unique about us, because we're willing to help each other out. Because our contests are every other, I think it's every other weekend. So if I need someone, then I'm definitely going to be like, hey, Roderick, I need you. Dan, hey, I need some help. And even with Herb way out there in Eastern, that's
Yeah.
that's okay. If you need for us to come, we'll go.
Awesome.
And help you
Thank
out,
you.
You got to
Thank you.
feed us, though.
Okay. We're good at that. Yeah. We have food.
We have food.
Yeah. We're good.
Yeah, food well served.
Yes. So table topics is what got me, and speaking on without notice. that's when I joined Toastmasters. And that's something that our contests are good for, to help us to give practice for it, do more reps, like Tommy said, put our reps in. Yeah.
Okay, you got some reps. You putting some reps in.
Getting your reps in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
So were you doing the fact check?
Oh, yes.
You come off
Well,
with
while
the-
you were talking, I was fact checking, and yes, division directors can serve as contest Toastmasters during speech contests, but they should not take on area contest chair or chief judge. This will allow them to support the contest while maintaining their responsibilities within the district.
All right,
There you go.
contest master.
There it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Fact check in the moment.
Hey, AI is good for something.
Yeah.
That's true.
You
and
want to talk about the roles we had talked about?
Oh, yeah.
Some smaller clubs are always having or have issues filling some of the roles.
Mhm.
And so we've talked about, I think just in general, I'm trying to remember a club that's had a posture monitor in a club meeting that I've gone to visit. But I think the posture monitor, I'm seeing fewer and fewer clubs doing that, or they take those responsibilities, roll it in with the general evaluator. Also,
Yeah.
I like the way I have one club in my division that does their formatting a little different. They like to do table topics right off the top. Then they take a little break, and then they go into the speeches and with the evaluations afterwards. And Clea, I think it was you who mentioned, and I've heard this before, a backwards meeting.
Yeah.
So tell me about a backwards meeting.
I've never did it. I've never had a backwards meeting in my club or any clubs that I visit. But the agenda from Free Toast Host, you can actually move the different slots.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the admin log in, and you can actually change the position of the meeting. I would love to do it, because it will be like, how do you actually give an evaluation before the actual speech?
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask.
So the company
Yeah.
of communicators are doing one. If they haven't done it already, it was either today or tomorrow.
Okay.
So search company of communicators. It's an advanced club, so they're doing a backwards meeting. Kim, our district director, was at our meeting, and she indicated that they were doing that. The fun part about it, from what I gathered, and people were talking about this at TLI on the 10th, is that you can give your feedback as a general evaluator first, and then now you get to see if people are going to build off of that. And okay, so and so Herb had 5 R's when he was delivering. So you might, instead of doing 5, you might do 10
Before I even delivered.
So it makes the club meeting.
That's
fun.
funny.
So it breaks the monotony of the
Oh, wow.
constant thing. I haven't experienced it, but that's from what I've heard and gathered from
I
people.
definitely want to try that. I think it would be fun.
Clea, I
Yeah.
could tell them you had Oz already before you even delivered.
You can definitely have some fun. I've seen it once in my entire, since 2013. I've seen it once at an Allen Toastmasters club meeting with Helen and dropping names, Chris Williams, and I've seen that once. And you can have total fun with it. You can say, this person, so and so did this, and this, and that person needs to make sure they get that whatever said in the speech when it comes their turn to the speech.
And to piggyback off of Dan, and you're right, there is so many different roles that, because each club is actually different, surprisingly enough, all of them run differently. And you don't have to run your club like everybody else. And again, if you don't really need an odd count or a posture monitor, well, you can eliminate that. That's okay. Because once again, it's tailored to the needs of your members. Because if you already have a well-established club and they already are doing well at being with their posture, why do you need a posture monitor? Some things, and I think that people need to understand that you have that luxury of actually customizing that agenda to best fit your members. And if you see them struggling in a certain area, like, okay, well, maybe we need to put back in posture monitor, because I see some of you all are slouchy. You see how I just set up when I was speaking? So, okay. But the point of it all is making it to your liking. If you don't have a lot of members in your club and you're getting club burnout, because a lot of members are getting burnt out, let's just be honest. I've seen it. I've been burnt out. I'm sure some of you have been burnt out in your club with the same people always participating. So if you actually start to eliminate some of the roles, it kind of liven things up a little bit so people won't feel so obligated, like, here we go, the same people, and we're taking on the same roles all the time. You want to try to re-engage the people that's there so they can renew when it's time for renewal period. Then maybe it won't be a decrease in membership if you actually revitalize your club. Is that a good way of putting it? Revitalize?
Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely.
I would say,
That's a
yeah,
good point.
revitalize. That's a great opportunity to bring up the moment of truth, for your club members. And in that moment of truth, you go through what are some reasons why we're losing members and things like that. But I would say, too, for the clubs that are struggling with membership, to reach out to the club growth director. And you can get a mentor, you can get a coach for your club and all of that could support your club growing members and or retaining members. But to your point, Ms. Clee, you want to, like you said, revitalize, but you got to think about ways to make it refresh. Think about, we talked about the backwards meeting,
Yes.
but you might think about adding a social component to it. What we did in our club, we started 15 minutes early to have a social moment where we can kind of connect, chit chat, and then when 6 o'clock comes, we turn it into the meeting. So, and then we have social events outside of the club meeting. That kind of helps connect people, talk about family and things like that. So that helps make a healthy club and healthy members to be more engaging too. And there are a host of other ways. We also sit down with 100, 200 ideas to refresh a club.
Right.
So those are the things that can happen.
There's some good things on that list.
Yeah.
It's a big list. If you
It's a
can't
big
find
list.
something to use at your club, you
Thanks,
ain't
Kim.
trying.
Yeah. Let's give a shout
Speaking
out
of
to Kim.
Thanks, Kim.
Speaking of big lists, here's my extensive notes.
Oh,
And I don't know how much time we have.
Remember,
if you could.
Her credit card is in danger. So
yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't know how much more time we have before Herb goes into decline, credit card shock.
have a heart attack.
But speaking of engaging, especially millennials, engaging the younger crowd, when it comes to the skills needed today, comes up, and I have soft skills listed at the bottom: digital literacy, cybersecurity, data literacy, program coding, blockchain, AI, machine learning, cloud computing, UX, UI design, user experience, SEO, social media, content creation, which is content creation. This is content creation here. We're doing that. That's a plus. E-commerce, virtual collaboration, Slack, Teams, Zoom, remote. Sorry if anyone's using Teams. I put in mind.
My job is using Teams now. Yeah.
Microsoft Teams.
We're so sorry.
I had to get on it, and I feel for you now because I have that experience now. And without going too much into this, like if you're interested to go deeper in that, we can certainly another day too. But thoughts on like when we're eliminating roles, is there roles that could help support these skills, or maybe storytelling and adding more substance to our speeches when it gets time for contest? We can engage with storytelling and less on the style. Like we're focused too much on style. There's a lot of things going through my head on this, and like when we're talking about roles, how can maybe another role, or how can we support any number of these?
Oh, are we talking about actually adding a new role?
Maybe.
What are we talking about?
Maybe
Supporting-
hypothetically, maybe it may come to fruition one day. Hypothetically,
Here's something that we added to one of my clubs recently is information. I forget what we call it, but so one person is dedicated to looking up all the activities in the Dallas area, for example, and she'll give just a 30-second rundown of all the activities that she found, and she'll just give them to us, especially in the Christmas season.
Like a local current events.
Yeah, current events.
Yeah.
Thank
What's
you.
come to mind? The person at the hotel, the fancy word, the concierge, club concierge.
That's right. Yeah, and it's fun. Now I know when I go to this meeting, I know I'm going to hear about all the activities around that I could go to, take my family to.
Or maybe a social event in the club too, where
Well, I know
family, friends.
Yeah. One of the things we talked about, what we had to do because of the pandemic, the COVID crisis, was go to become virtual. And we have now on the virtual clubs, the Zoom Masters or whichever media platform you're using.
Yeah.
So that's something that's appealing to the young generation. They could, be Zoom Masters to kind of deal with the virtual meetings or the hybrid meetings for clubs who have hybrid meetings. They could, pick up that.
And that could be something like you said, add to your resume for your leadership.
Right.
Hey, I'm a Zoom master. Oh, wow. Check.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's valuable.
Yeah, it's valuable.
It's a meeting host.
Right.
Yeah.
You're the meeting host. There's an MC, and then the Zoom master is technically the meeting host.
Right.
That handles all of the Zoom tech stuff.
But that's one of the opportunities that Toastmasters have. I know that to connect with the younger generation. I think also too, those fundamental skills that are out there. So when the power goes out, or you have to, you don't have the microphone and the speaker, or your social media is down, how do you connect with people? How do you have that genuine human connection? I think Toastmasters provide that for a lot of people. I think research shows now people are on their phones, they're on devices, they're the screens, and there's not much human connection. Well, in Toastmasters, you have humans and they connect. And they connect around being Toastmasters.
Look at us.
So that's an opportunity there.
Yeah, that's a great.
Right. That's one of the benefits of Toastmasters, I think, that we can offer to younger generation to kind of have that. Rarely do I see in my club or when I go to Toastmasters, you're engaging in Toastmasters, but you're all on your phone or, all
Right.
So it's it's that human connection there. That's one thing.
Yes.
Some clubs might even have rules, put your phones on mute or what have you, unless it's an emergency. And then maybe we can incorporate something like that into club meetings where you do your votes via the phone or something like that. So you're still engaging and including the digital component that might be more attractive to younger generations as well.
I was just visiting a club today. Shout out to Town North a little bit and Texas Dragons. I was visiting them today. They were doing their white elephant party, so it wasn't a normal meeting. But I saw something they did voting, and they had like meals. I had great homemade Chinese food there too, and they had voting by Google form. They voted on the best tabletops. They had listed all the members, and you just choose whoever spoke in tabletops, which is everyone in the meeting essentially today. And then they also had these meals, and they had a number and said, vote for option 1 as the best meal sample. And you sampled all these meals and which one is the best. And they have prizes. So voting by Google form or something like that. Take stuff in the digital form.
Yeah, and that's not a bad idea, because not only is that something that you can do for your club that's electronic to help get the younger generation more in-depth and involved, but it also saves money. Think about all the voting ballots you don't have to buy for your club anymore.
How much are ballots?
That's right.
So many places are actually going paperless.
I haven't been treasurer. I haven't seen the price of ballots.
I know, but haven't we been told the last 2 years in a row that ballots are the thing that gets bought at the concession table more than any other item?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But during conference, outside of conference, it's a ballots and paper. And there's a way to completely eliminate with the electronic option. kill two birds with one stone.
Right.
With
Oh,
the
yeah.
new- go ahead. Okay. With the new platform too, you can still send messages, notes, and all that. So I think it's also geared towards the digital immigrants, or not digital natives.
Right.
Toastmasters platform with the Basecamp and all of that. So that might be
And
something
even
that's appealing.
Pathways now is coming into the arena. Now that you can
Pathways-
actually get Pathways on your phone.
The new Basecamp is mobile friendly. I just learned
Yes.
that at
Oh,
the
yes.
TLI
Yeah.
that I visited in District 25. I was seeing how they did some. I took down a lot of notes in the last few days at this TLI. I visited District 25. I went outside and seeing how another district operates TLI, and where was I going with what were we talking
The
about?
mobile.
Mobile.
The digital component.
Oh, Pathways and Basecamp. It's actually mobile friendly, and you can request an evaluation. You can log your actual speech down if it's not a non-legacy path.
Right.
If it's a legacy path, then you lose that capability. But the non-legacy path, you can log speeches and a lot more functionality to this Basecamp.
So that will definitely attract the millennials,
Mhm.
getting away from paper, and let it go digital AI. Even I'm sure that'll be a next thing.
Okay.
An AI meeting.
Well, I think one of the challenges that I see with the whole millennial, generation, I've heard in more than one camp that millennials have a challenge with coming to Toastmasters meetings because they think they're boring, they're long. Where am I going to speak like this if all of my speech and my job is online?
Right.
If I'm going to talk to you on chat and I can have AI write it for me, why do I need to learn how to speak myself?
Wow. Come on.
Well,
This is.
honestly, I think there's an opportunity for us to point out that Toastmasters is the perfect organization for millennials to join. Why? Because if you're going to learn to speak in short bursts, you need to be able to speak effectively. If you're and on, you're not going to get the thought out of your head very fast. If you are not being concise and focused with what you're trying to say, people won't be watching your podcast or looking at your video because they'll get bored and cycle to something else. If you're trying to sell yourself at your company and you're doing it online, it's going to be all about, can you get to the point in the least amount of time, using the most effective language to get everybody's attention and to follow what you're saying. Where else do you learn to do that for practically free, $10 a month, but at Toastmasters? And so I think there's an opportunity here for us to repackage what we are delivering to our constituents regarding, it's not just about standing up and giving 1 hour and 30-minute presentations anymore.
Right. Okay.
Table topics, properly executed, can literally be turned into practice for podcasting. How to give your message in a very short, concise period of time. And think about it, Tony. Whenever people are online now and they're putting together podcasts, they're putting together videos, and they're trying to make that information come out, how often do you see a video out there where the person had to chop their video 15 or 20 times in the span of a minute in order to make it fit, and they cut all their breathing out, they cut their chop, and everything sounds like it's coming out of their mouth at this fast? It's because they haven't learned how to speak concisely about their subject matter.
Oh.
There's an opportunity for us to teach concise speaking. It's something that we are supposed to do. It's in the manuals, but we don't really emphasize it. We focus so much on speaking eloquently
Yes.
that we don't necessarily always focus on speaking concisely.
Right.
That's right.
And the millennial generation is all about doing everything faster. Well, if you're going to do it faster, you better speak better. You better speak more concisely, you better speak more effectively, and you better get to your point quicker. We have an opportunity to do that.
Right. I like to build on that too. That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
And back to what Tommy was saying, talking about style of substance. Now they could develop substance along with their style.
Substance, yes.
So
Mhm.
with Toastmasters, not only you develop those skills as a speaker, a better speaker, you develop those skills as a better leader. Think about when you're giving feedback for a speech. That builds your skill to give feedback in corporate America. And when you become a leader in your
Mhm.
career or your job or what have you, now you have those soft skills that you could better connect with people with and manage and lead people with. So, and then also too, opportunity to be an influencer in Toastmasters, because if you become president, you get to develop themes for the year, things
That's
like
right.
that. You can, be in leadership to help fix some things that you might want to change. You're in position to move that through your club and things like that. So there are many opportunities for, I would say, the younger generation to come in, be innovative, be influencers, learn some basic fundamental skills that are timeless for being a human, being a leader, and connecting with people.
Influencer. Mhm.
I would say Tommy's one of our influencers with the After
50
Dark.
After
Yeah.
Dark. Tommy.
D50 After Dark.
Yes.
Shout out Mickey who is opening this open this episode. He's not able to be here tonight, but giving a little intro to open the episode still. So he's a part of it in some way still.
Thank you, Mickey. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would say, why Toastmasters? Let's answer that question.
Why we're Toastmasters?
Why Toastmasters?
We think we should end on that.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
a good opportunity to
Yeah.
let
And-
people
Well, go
know.
ahead and take it away.
Can I start?
Oh,
Take
yeah.
that
Sure.
and
Yeah,
take it and
yeah.
go reverse this and
Okay.
game changer here again. My thing and my 2013 to 11 year span active Toastmaster the entire time. If you notice, if you look at my credentials, right now currently level 5, no DTM yet. I haven't been going for that, but in my whole span of that, I've learned to use Toastmasters, and I cut a clip of talking with program quality director Denise Castile, and we promoted out with that, promoting that episode, and she was talking about, think of Toastmasters as a campus that you pay your tuition to, and all this stuff is available with your tuition. Why not take advantage of all that you're paying for? You're getting all these events, podcasts, D50 After Dark, club meetings, district events, area contests.
Conference.
It's all part of your tuition that you pay $10 a month roughly. And I like to call, over the last several years, I've been calling Toastmasters my playground to mess up and fail before I get out there in the real world. I've learned so much on D50 After Dark podcast. Come join me. You'll learn something too. Everyone's welcome to see this podcasting thing. Come on. Need some help and support too. Learn so much as podcasting. I see this setup here. That was all developed for this Toastmasters D50 After Dark podcast, all because of Toastmasters is my playground.
Very nice.
Nice.
Well, I guess that means I go next.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, why Toastmasters? Corporate brought me to Toastmasters. Specifically, corporate failure brought me to Toastmasters. Because I was in a position where I had to speak to others, first in customer service, then running a call center.
Mm-hmm.
And I was having trouble in person communicating my thoughts in anything other than emotional language. And especially in a high pressure environment like that, emotion is the one thing you don't want to have.
Mm-hmm.
Failing to communicate effectively with my peers and the people who were working for me caused a gap in my job, a stoppage in the forward progress of my career, and eventually the loss of that job.
Okay.
That failure had to be fixed, and I had no idea how to fix it. And thank God I went to a event with a local chamber of commerce in Carrollton and met a gentleman that is in Toastmasters. I won't name him here, obviously, but He had the good sense to see a fly on the wall who couldn't talk to people, drag him off the wall, make him do that 30-second intro speech. Who are you and why are you here?
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of handing me his business card, handed me a Toastmasters card and said, you need to learn how to do this better if you want to be successful in your career, and we can help you do it.
Okay.
And we'll not be the people who fire you for it. We'll be the people who prop you up.
Okay.
He handed me that card. I came to the meetings, and just like we've all been told, it is a safe place to fail.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
can
right.
learn from your failures. You get evaluation on your feedback. You can implement that evaluation immediately. Where else can you learn to be better at speaking, better at coaching others, better at running your organization,
Mhm.
better at leadership for $10 a month?
Right, right.
I mean, you can't even hardly buy a proper water meal anymore for $10 a month. So the idea that that a Toastmasters is expensive is a bit of a misnomer, I think. I think for what we get for the money we spend, you can do for yourself in ways that other people will not do for you,
Oh, yeah.
except people who are of the same mind
Mhm.
and the same issue and the same failure, who all come together to learn to be better together.
Mhm.
That's my story. That's why I Toastmaster. And now that my career has had the opportunity to complete and I've moved into that half-employed, semi-retired mode, it's time to give back. And we talked about the millennials, a whole generation that needs this, the generation that's coming after them, oh my, desperately need the clarity of communication that Toastmasters can teach. And whose responsibility is it to teach it? It's ours. So I get on a soapbox. My apologies for doing so when it comes to why Toastmaster, because for me, Toastmasters has literally meant the difference in failure and success in my career.
That was great.
I
Excellent.
mean, I wouldn't want to go out today.
No, I follow the same sentiment. And I do want to amend the Toastmasters is a safe place to fail. Yes. And Toastmasters is a safe place to fail, grow, and become a better version of yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I want to make sure we add that to that. So it's just not failure, but we do learn from failure. Those data points have to improve. That's the purpose of the feedback that we get, the evaluations, all of that. So when we do our debriefing, that's a part of that, making you a better version of yourself. And what I like about my club is when they give feedback, it's feedback. It's not the fluff, it's to help you grow. And I try to do that the same. So my why for Toastmasters, I got in because I wanted to excel and become into leadership in my career. And I did. I became a distinguished Toastmaster. And then a few years after that, I became a distinguished teacher.
Okay.
So I saw the correlation in being able to organize, communicate, lead, all that became a part of what I learned in Toastmasters I could apply directly into my career. So that was my reason why Toastmasters. Now that I've been in here 10 years or so, my why now is that I get to connect with interesting people, such as you guys, the various walks of life. I tell members when they come to our club, we welcome you. It's an opportunity to learn and grow. But not only that, we get to learn from you as well, because everyone has something to offer.
Right.
And I think that quality of being able to connect with people on a weekly basis, sometimes more than that, if you're visiting a lot of clubs, but you get to experience Toastmasters in a way that helps build community and make individuals a better version of themselves. That's my why.
Well, I like what you said about both of y'all about you were brought to Toastmasters through failure. And I think my situation was exactly that. And I came in not so much to better myself professionally, but to better myself personally. I struggled with speaking in public, and this came to a head when I had to give a toast at my daughter's little party before she got married. And I realized, now, granted, I had to give a toast in front of a bunch of lawyers, and they were all much better speakers than I was. But I knew by the time the wedding came around, I had to up my game a bit. And so that's why I joined Toastmasters. But it has been one of the most fun things I have ever done. I was a good friend from college, recommended that I join Toastmasters. And she told me at the time, she said, it has changed my life. And I would say in many ways, Toastmasters has changed my life. It has made me a better communicator, more willing to open up, more willing to say what's on my mind. And I'm sort of at the end of my professional career. I don't really have a lot left to do or to prove to myself of what I have to do professionally, but I still have a lot I need to prove to myself personally. And so Toastmasters is allowing me to do that. So that's why I like Toastmasters.
Tell us what you really feel.
Wow, this actually, I'm not prepared for why Toastmasters after listening to you all, because now I have to really think about how it has changed my life. I never looked at it as it changing my life. But when I put it in perspective after listening to each of yours examples, it has changed my life. I never actually looked at it as changing my life. But it has. One thing I definitely, now that we're in the safe zone, correct, as you may say, and not try to get on the soapbox. The one thing I know that Toastmasters had helped me and why I Toastmaster is the relationship with my son. As a parent and a child, you believe that what I say goes. Until one day, he actually checked me on some stuff. And I realized some of the things that I was talking about or speaking of, he was starting to pick up on some of the things I would say and bring it back to me. Okay. And he was always, and I always tell him, Dylan, I'm working on being better. I'm working on my mouth. My mouth was bad. And he told me one day, and I'll never forget this, you said you was working on your mouth and you haven't. And immediately I was like, oh my goodness. Since I've been Toastmastering, my communication skills have actually blossomed our relationship because now I'm a better listener. Parents like to talk because we think we're right. You don't know what you're talking about. I've already did that. That's not going to work. You need to do it this way. I became a better listener. Now I allow myself to actually please shut up and just sit there and listen. Okay. And not be a parent that tells him A, B, and C, but let him figure that out on his own. And whether he actually do what I think he should do, I still support him and not always say what is on my mind. So now I know how to actually have a conversation more calculated, I guess you would say. Because as parent, even as I'm growing up with my mom and dad, that's what your parents say. That's what you did. You didn't know why, but that's just what they said. But when I have a son that's a millennial, and just because mom, you said it doesn't mean that's the way it should be. Like, oh, maybe you're right. It's the way I learned through Toastmasters how to be a better communicator, become a better listener, and so actually improved our relationship. We had a good relationship, but now that he's an adult, I can't treat him as a child anymore. So I have to become a better listener. And then also foster him to want to continue to talk by me actually not always giving my 2 cents. And more or less say, Dylan, if that's what you think, honey, try it. And then he's like, really? Like, yeah, try it. You don't have anything to say? Nope, I don't have anything to say. Like, oh, okay. And then he feels more confident in the decisions he's making as a young man and not always have to look at, is my mom going to approve of this? I don't want him to live his life always looking for my approval or my disapproval. Let him actually, being a man, one day a father in his own household by making right decisions, but also through my actions, through Toastmasters, of being a better listener.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Herb, you
Yeah.
get to follow that.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Oh, Toastmasters has definitely changed my life, and especially the direction of my life, simply for being able to communicate better, especially in public, but all communication. And I'll agree with you, Clee, on listening. That's one of my strong points. And it definitely got better in Toastmasters because of evaluations, right? And I see what the energy, the life of what you tried to say, even though it was covered up with it wasn't clear, in other words. But I see what's in there, and listening is definitely a great thing. And one more thing, moving on to the division director role, it's helped me with leadership because it's a volunteer organization. I can't fire anybody. That don't work. I'm not paying you. We're all volunteers on these leadership roles, and we are.
Right.
So I put more into trying to help my leaders under me. Put more into helping them, asking what they need, and how I can be a help to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an amazing thing. So recommend it to anyone.
Yes, definitely. Be a better leader.
Toastmasters, area director, division director, wrapping it all back to what we were saying in the beginning. All the above. Recommend everything. Do it all as much as you can, as much as you want. You may not want to go all the way. As much as do as much as what you want.
Right. Exactly.
Take those opportunities.
Yes, definitely. Revitalize it. Right. Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
treat it as like a campus.
Yes.
I've had
Any
nothing
last
but
words?
support. Oh, I've had nothing but support from the people around me in my clubs that I'm members in, and all of you fellow leaders. Nothing but support. So thank you.
Definitely.
And no, the big mainland support that comes around contest time, when that's when we talked about that, offering my support as area director contest, help on other areas, and then
Right,
and then
exactly.
they'll help you in return.
That's correct.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
But any last final words?
I think the
Sounds good.
I'm good.
the hidden benefit of Toastmasters, we just
Hidden.
found out, is support. Everyone wants support, and
Support.
when you stepping
It
up,
is.
you don't realize the support that's out there. People from the top, and
Yes.
from people in
That's
the
correct.
clubs who just joined. They want to support. They
Yeah.
see you doing something, and I'm same way. I'll support you. We told Kim was on our meeting with area directors. We said, go to the first one and volunteer, like be a helper, so you can get
Mhm.
experience on what it's like to run a contest.
Mhm. Yes, that's correct.
And our team, we're ready to
Yeah.
support as well.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah.
I have a call to action, and anyone else has to end on. Find something out there. There's something for you in Toastmasters. Look, I'm looking at you at the camera. I'm looking at you. Find something in Toastmasters that's for you. Jump in, go all in, and learn that role. Have fun with it. Make it yours. But find that role that's for you. Whether it's a small club role, I won't say small role, but club role, area role, division role, district role. Find that role. Any other call to actions?
Oh, I'll second that. Tommy is a living example of what he just asked us to do, because he is our D50's tech support and many other things. So thank you, Tommy.
D50 influencer.
That's right.
Any other call to actions, and then we can end this.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year. We're giving all of you area directors
New Year.
off for Christmas,
All for Christmas.
but we're hitting the ball running come January 1st.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's finish strong.
Merry
like we
Christmas,
started.
Happy New Year. Have fun with your family. Open those presents. Eat lasagna. I'm gonna go home and make lasagna for Christmas for our family. Have that Christmas meal, and then
And
come
God
back.
bless.
Let's go to work
Be
in
safe.
January.
God bless
And I
you.
would say too, the other benefit is you get to have fun doing it. And I've had a lot of fun with Toastmasters, and I continue to have fun, even tonight.
Yeah, we did have fun.
That's
tonight.
right.
Yeah, we did.
Why do it if we can't have fun doing it?
This whole podcasting thing. That's me. That's my fun.
All right.
All right.
On three, why Toastmasters? 1, 2, 3.
Playground.
Toastmasters.
I said playground, but that's my why. Why Toastmasters? And see you in the new year.
Christmas. Christmas. And Happy New Year.